How's it going, everybody? My name is Carter Hall, and this is another episode of the What Really Happened podcast. Hope you had a great, happy holidays. With me today, I have Tavi Williams on the podcast today, who is a CrossFit athlete at CrossFit 806. How's it going? Thanks for coming on the podcast.
It's going great. Excited to be here.
Of course. I see all the time, like, the gym and stuff like that. I'm like, you're probably like one of the like absolute beasts I see there just going in, all that doing a bunch of great things. And then I'm like, I have to see if he'd come on the podcast or not.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure. So I was gonna ask, like, I asked this first question like to almost all my CrossFit athletes that would come on my podcast, but I want to ask, like, how did you like discover CrossFit or how did it come about to you?
Okay, so this is actually a really funny story. I've always been involved in the gym ever since high school, and I kind of just was in a rut and was bored with what I was doing in the gym. And one of my friends, her name is Samantha, she goes by Sam. She actually works at the bank. She was like, "Why don't we go try, a CrossFit class? It's a partner workout. You're gonna love it." She occasionally goes to CrossFit, and I was like, "Sure, why not? It's not gonna hurt." And ever since that day, I have continued to go to CrossFit 806 and have not stopped since. So,
Oh, awesome. So how long have you been in it now?
I would say coming up around March will be 2 years, so a
Oh,
little less
wow.
than 2 years.
That's pretty awesome. That's pretty exciting. That's pretty cool. You've been doing it for 2 years nonstop. That's a real dedication for sure.
Yeah, no, I to say the least, I'm definitely addicted at this point, but
That's awesome. What makes CrossFit so fun or so great in your eyes, you think?
I think because we're always doing something different, like every single
Mhm.
day, like it's never the same thing. It's constantly varied. Like, you're not doing back on Monday, legs on Tuesday, chest on Wednesday. Like you have that routine. It's always different in CrossFit. And it keeps me on my toes. Another thing is I'm very competitive. If you have not noticed, like I like to
Yeah.
talk a lot of crap in the gym, get people going. And that's just kind of my personality. So I really enjoy that aspect of CrossFit as well. So the community and being together, and you don't really see that in a lot of other places. It doesn't really matter
Mhm.
where you go. Like for example, I drop in at gyms when I travel for work, and it's always the same kind of feel and community, which is really cool.
Oh, heck yeah, that's so cool. I mean, I hear you, like, chirp a little bit to Travis Soto, who I've had on the podcast a couple of times too. I feel like I am in the background just, like, working out, and I'll hear something I'm like, "Jeez." And then Travis, I think, give it right back to you sometimes. I'm like, "Heck yeah, that's pretty funny."
Yeah,
Oh,
no, we give each other a hard time. We do a lot of competitions together, so we try to keep each other on our toes and make sure we're prepared for anything.
oh, really? So it's more like kinda like a fun thing going on, obviously, right?
Oh yeah, we just like to talk crap.
Who's the better trash talker between y'all 2?
I don't probably me. I would say. I think anybody would say that because I mean I talk crap to everybody probably in the gym. And
Is
anybody
there
that can handle it. I'm not mean,
Yeah.
but we like competitive.
For sure. Is there anybody else you think can match you at all as far as, like, the friendly chirping, friendly, I guess, competitive, I guess, in
Probably
a way?
yeah, so my mom and my aunt also go to CrossFit 806, so they've got some pretty big mouths on them, but they're quiet. They won't let you hear it, but they'll let me hear it. So I would say them. Jaren's pretty competitive too. Of course, he's more encouraging than trash talk, but
Yeah, I mean, all these are, like, in the name of, like, helping others, right? I mean, that's
oh
what
yeah.
it's all about at the end of the day, obviously, right? I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
that's pretty cool. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, you mentioned too, if you wanna talk on about it, but you said, like, your mom and your aunt come. Like, that's pretty
Yeah.
awesome too, because 'cause I've seen, like, little, like, stuff on every once in a while, but that's pretty cool that, you're like you said, you've been doing it for 2 years now, you really have, like, actually, like, friends you made friends through it, but now you have family involved. What's that like?
Oh, so I had been doing CrossFit maybe about 6 months, and it took me that 6 months to talk my mom and my aunt into joining with me. Um, it's actually really funny. It's Tavy, Tristan, Terrace. We're like the three T's, and wherever one goes, one the other two follow.
Mhm.
So it's pretty much been like that with all of our gym stuff. And so I finally got them to come to CrossFit. And so they've been coming ever since too. But
Oh,
having that
wow.
extra motivation and push and accountability really helps them out as well, as much as it helps me out. Because I'm
Mm.
on my own, so it's always nice to go see my mom at the gym and ask her
Yeah.
about how her day was or how her week's going, and same with my aunt. So it's definitely really special. My aunt came and worked out with me tonight, and so it's just kind of like it's really rewarding in a way. Like it's good to see that we're all here together and kind of making sure
Mhm.
we're taking care of ourselves to be able to continue to do things that we love to do as a family.
Oh, that's so awesome to hear that. I mean, I know I have my brother Brandon who works at 806 now. He
Yeah.
like I so it's like every time like it's just always have it's always cool to have like you're like to have like motivation, but also have like someone else too, like also like pushing you, like
Oh,
having that accountability buddy with you. Like I'm like, okay, what's going on? Like, hey, what's like today when you walk in, it's like for example, today, the workout today, I'll post it through editing, but the workout we did today was a lot of burpees and a lot of jump
yeah.
roping. So it was something like that. It's like, man, it's just like when you walk in, there's some days I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this, but like when you're going through the workout, when you have like someone like that close to you, it's like, you know what, it makes it that much more better in a sense, if that makes sense at all.
Oh
You know what I'm trying to
yeah.
say?
It does. It's kind of more welcome, not more welcoming because every CrossFit gym's welcoming, but it just kind of
Yeah.
makes it feel a little bit better, and to see a friendly face that you see at home as well. But yeah, no, it makes sense.
Yeah, most definitely. I was gonna ask you too, do you have like as much as like as long as you've been in CrossFit or anything like that, and like as much as you compete and do things like that, like mini great things like that, do you like have you thought about ever like getting your level one at all? Or do you have a level one at all
I do
certification?
not. I've thought about it. I just haven't gone through with it yet. I did take the course and I ended up failing the first test, and I need to go retest. I just haven't done that yet. I'm also a full-time student, so it's hard to like put aside extra time to study for extra stuff. So I work full time, I go to school full time, and so adding that onto my plate is kind of crazy. But
Yeah.
I do need to go retake that test and get my L1. But definitely something I'm interested in, just not a priority right now, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, it makes total sense. I mean, you got a lot of you got some important stuff on your plate right now. I mean, like you said, you're going to full time. You're going to school full time. You're working full time. What are you going to school for? If you don't mind me asking, just out of
So
curiosity.
yeah, I'm going to school for human resources and communications. So I
Oh
graduated
really?
about a year ago, and now I go to the University of Arkansas online. So I'm finishing up my bachelor's degree. I've got about a year left. So just hanging in there, getting through it.
That's the process, right? I mean, it took like I want it's a big process for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh, it
whenever
is.
I yeah, I remember like I started CrossFit 28. Well, how can I say this? I did like a boot camp level CrossFit class in like 2018, 19. I started, did that for a couple of years. I took like a year off, which is like horrible. Like, and I'm just slowly getting a year back in. But at the same time, like I graduated from college and all that. So working out and then doing this and doing that work. It's like, I'm kind of in a good way. I'm happy I've had CrossFit as my outlet, if that makes sense too. It's like all this stuff's
Oh,
like, oh, I can't wait to go to the gym. But there's some days I'm like, oh my gosh, like burpees, for example, or running, for example, something no crazy, I'm like,
yeah.
oh my God, I'm going to dominate this workout or it will kill me. Either one.
Hey, rest days are important too. So if
Yeah,
you can
for
work
sure.
in there somehow, those are just
Yeah,
as important as showing up.
most definitely. Yeah, rest days are my favorite days sometimes.
Yeah.
But don't, for sure. But don't tell anybody. Don't tell Kyle or Jaren or anybody though.
Oh yeah, I won't tell them.
Kyle, Jaren, if I listen, or anybody of the coaches listen to this, uh, rest days are not my favorite days. I lied.
Goodness.
Yeah, for sure. I was gonna ask you, like, when it comes to like working out, like actually, like when you're not resting, right? Whenever you like go into the gym, is there like a particular um, like workout that you like, or like a certain movement that you're like look forward to do? Is there anything like that that goes on? Like when you look at like when you log in, we have Watify, so whenever you log in, you get a spot like for a class, like a 5:30 or 6:30 class, for example, and you see the workout. Is there anything like you see like, oh man, this like this workout looks cool? Is there anything like that going on, or are you just like ready for the workout itself?
I would say just in general, like I'm just ready for whatever it's gonna bring me. But personally, I like the metcons that are shorter metcons, like sprints. So
Oh, yeah.
whether that's like AMRAP or you got 4 rounds for time, like something that's gonna be really quick and that's gonna push me the entire time. Now, I'm not saying I dislike the longer workouts. I just prefer the shorter ones that are more sprints rather than the ones that you got to chip away at and it's 20 minutes of constant work,
Mhm.
or 30 minutes of constant work. But even then, like some of those workouts, I absolutely love them. So it just kind of depends. But I would say I'm more stronger suited in, the little sprint workouts.
Um,
But that's just how I am as an athlete.
yeah. Did you do sports in high school or anything like that?
Yeah, I did. So I did cross country and track in high school. So a
Oh,
lot of
wow.
running.
Lots of running, I bet.
I am not a fan of running anymore after high school, but if they're running in the workout, I'll do it. I'm not gonna enjoy it, but it's fine.
Oh, really? So does that help you at all going, like you said, I know, like you said, you're not a big fan of running and workouts now, really. I mean, you'll do it like you said, but did that
Yeah.
help you at all, like, transitioning that, like, any, like, that sports mentality from high school to now? Did that carry on, you think, at all?
Yeah, I would say discipline-wise, I had a fantastic coach in high school. Her name is Sarah Stewart.
Oh, yeah.
And we had really early morning workouts, we had afternoon workouts. So I would say like the discipline of, taking care of your body and showing up and being on time and, putting in the work. I would say that definitely has played a really big role in who I am now and who I am as an athlete now at a CrossFit gym. And so I would say that carried over. Now the running aspect, I would
Mhm.
say a little bit, but honestly, I would say I am more fit now than I ever was in high school. And so, because I was only focusing on running and that was pretty much it. But with CrossFit, you're focusing on so many other different things that I'm more fit now than I was just running, if that
Oh,
makes
yeah.
sense.
Makes total sense. Like, for example, I wrestled in high school too, so going in from wrestling to like, us that was years ago though, right? So, for me, I'm 26 now, so whenever going from, said like I said, wrestling in high school to CrossFit now, it's different. Like, it feels like you're doing of different volume, different this, different that. Just so much goes into it. You're like, I feel like it's a different in shape, if that makes sense. And I loved
Oh,
CrossFit, as much as like the shape that you get in with CrossFit, it's like so
yeah.
cool and different in a good way, if that makes sense at all.
Yeah, so I remember when I first started CrossFit, Brady was still coaching, and he was an amazing coach. He taught me pretty much everything I know
Mhm. Yeah.
starting out with CrossFit. But I remember I think I'd been there like for a month, maybe 2 months, and we did the CrossFit total, which was like a deadlift PR, and I think like a back squat PR and shoulder to overhead PR, and I was moving weight that I had never even dreamed
Yeah.
of moving, and that was in a couple months of CrossFit. And what really blew my mind, I was like, I really haven't been working on this. Like, I really
Oh,
haven't been
yeah.
doing a lot of deadlifts. I really haven't been doing a lot of back squat. Because in my mind, when I was, just going to the regular gym, like you had to
Mhm.
like constantly work on that one movement to even go up 2 pounds in a PR. Um, and then when I came to CrossFit, I mean, it's working out your whole body, like
Yeah.
all the entirety of it. But I just remember I was so blown away. I was like, this is insane. I haven't done deadlift in like this long. How am I moving this weight right now? But
Yeah.
it was really cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. It's a cool feeling, like, I think just honestly, because like you said, it's a functional fitness. Like, you don't know, like, it's like you could be working out one thing and like it could somehow like later on help, like we said, doing back squat or doing this, doing that. It's like it translates into something like working out muscles you never thought you were working out. If that makes
Yeah,
sense. And then you're like, so like for example, like bench press, I could never do 200 pounds previously when I first started. Now I'm
yeah,
like it's going over and over. I'm like, holy crap! Like this is like I'm getting like stronger in this area or that area or
oh
cardio,
yeah,
this, that's it's like, I never thought, like, it just It's all like it all comes together like a perfect storm. If that makes sense at all.
Oh, yeah, it does, like, that's kinda what I was talking about. It's so, like, mind-blowing to think, like, "Wow, like, my body can do this now after just, like, a few short months of putting in the work and, staying consistent."
Most definitely. Is being consistent for you, does that help your competitive stamina at all? Or is that does that like help you overall when working out, you think?
Yeah, I would say so. I think, CrossFit, creatine, and consistency are, like, your top 3 Cs
Yeah.
to remember when it comes to that kinda
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah, I think consistency in anything that I do is really important to me. So no matter if it's at work, professionally, out of work, or even in the gym, consistency and routine is really important.
Yeah, that's super,
Mhm.
super duper important for sure. So great the great 3 C's, gotta follow those for sure. I wanna share there's something cool that I think you started, kinda shift gears a little bit. It has to do with CrossFit related, but it's over social media. You have a page called, I think, tell me if I'm wrong, you have an Instagram page that's dedicated to fitness, like, right?
Yes, yes.
And that's pretty cool. It's called, to get me wrong, don't I don't get it wrong. Tell me what the name of it is?
Fitness with Tavy.
That's what it is. I almost said it backwards. I don't wanna say it wrong.
Yeah,
Tabby
no, you good.
Tabby Fitness. I was gonna say it backwards, I'm sorry, but, I apologize. But I thought that was so cool. I'm like, that you, like, dedicated a whole page just to your fitness. I'm like, that's so cool, like, that you did that. So, like, how'd you get started with that? What was the idea from that? Like, how did that originate?
So I started that page before I started CrossFit, and I kind of started it as just like a little motivator for myself. But also, I had left a really toxic gym here in Amarillo, and that community was just not good. And I kind of, I made a lot of friends through that gym. But I kind of wanted to keep my motivation and positivity going. I am kind of a loud person. Um, not really loud, but I like to talk to people and kind
Yeah.
of get people going and be encouraging in that way. And so I kind of started that page to kind of keep that going. Because at the time, a lot of people were leaving that area and they weren't really sure what they were going to do to keep their fitness going. And so I kind of just started that page to hold myself accountable and to invite others to come join me and to kind of keep things going and moving. And it just kind of went up from there. And now I kind of just do it to save like PR videos or like just to
Yeah.
look back and see like how far I've come, within these 2 years of CrossFit has really blown my mind. Like sometimes I'll scroll down to the very bottom and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I can barely do a pull up in this video." And then to see me now, like it's really rewarding and I really enjoy, sharing the positivity with others and meeting other CrossFit people, like myself and seeing how they're doing. And it's really cool because I'll have people message me like videos of what they're up to, and I'll send them videos of what I'm up to. So it's a really good way to interact with others and kind of keep people motivated and kind of see what's going on.
That's so awesome that you did that, like, you said be able to go back in time and, like, see this, like,
Yeah.
you went from this to that. Such an it could be, like, inspiring just for, like, people, but also, like, yourself, like, that's how you can get motivation, right?
Oh
So,
yeah.
it's such a cool thing too that you started that. I saw the page for a little bit of it, I'm like, "That's so cool," like, that you, like there's people who did that, like,
Mhm.
that you could go from, like, point A to point B, just keep getting
Oh
better and
yeah.
better, build a foundation, right, and keep growing from there, right? So I thought, like, that's so cool that you dedicate a whole page just to your fitness journey. So that's pretty cool. Like, just we got a new PR today. Let's show it
Yeah.
off. Let's do this. Let's do that. So that's always I thought that was a really great idea.
Yeah, no, I definitely enjoy it a lot, and it's a lot of fun, and I mean, yeah, it is pretty mind blowing to see like how far I've come in just those 2 years. But even to see like what I was doing before CrossFit, it's really funny. I'll go back down, and I'm like, what the heck am I doing in this video? Like, this looks, oh my gosh, this is not okay. If any of my coaches saw this, it would be really bad. Like, we got to delete. But I try not to delete anything because I do like to see, like, how far
Yeah.
I've come and to show people, like, everybody starts somewhere. It doesn't matter,
Yeah.
if you're super fit, if you're not super fit, it doesn't matter. Everybody starts somewhere, and you go up from there. So
Sure. Yeah, I think I always like to say too, like, everybody has a square one, right? So everybody has a chapter one, a first paragraph, first sentence. So it's up to you, like how your story goes in your fitness journey. It's like it's always that first step is always a scary one, right? It's like always like, oh, I feel like I'm good. I trust me, I've been there. I feel like a million times. Like I'm like
Yes.
even now to this day, I'm like, what does this mean secretly to someone? I'm like, what is this? Like even that little step, I'm like, even back then, like, oh my god, like I'm not great by any means. I'm not a CrossFit champ, nothing like that. But even like be able to go back and see stuff, I'm like, oh my god, my form was horrible. Like on a
Oh,
deadlift, why am
yeah.
I even thinking that? Like, I mean, just able to do like this or that. It's like be able to like go back and correct little things. You don't hurt yourself, or maybe even correct it
Oh,
to be better just in the future. Just little bit stuff like that.
Mhm, yeah, so a lot of my videos I do take now, is really just to see kinda where I'm at, what I need to tweak, what I need to do to get better. Like, I'll find myself replaying it in slow motion, like, just to find one little error or, like, just catching things that I need to work on, just to be better, but so a lot of those videos now are kind of those that's kinda what I use them for now,
Oh,
in
really?
my journey, but, that and to celebrate new PRs and kinda how things are going, but
That's so cool. One little thing before we move on. I read your bio too, and I thought that was so funny. Like I'll have to sew it again. That says I have to sew it like on the video. I have to edit it, but what's so cool? It says WODs and what like WTF. I don't want to say it on here, but I thought that was so funny. I laughed at that. Like I like out loud, like audibly laughed when I read that. I'm like, that's so cool because I feel the same way too. Sometimes like, what? I'm thinking that internally to myself every time I see a workout. If like someone's coaching, like Jaren, for example, if he's coaching, and he says like, okay, we got this today. I'm like, sorry, what is this rep scheme here? Like, what is actually going on? Like, I'm surprised
yeah.
I'm not like, I laugh, I'm not the only one who thinks this, you know?
Oh gosh. Yeah, I would say probably 98% of CrossFitters or anybody who does CrossFit probably thinks that same thing, so
Yeah.
I know cussing is not encouraged in the gym, but I do think that all the time.
Yeah, most definitely. I think that's a reoccurring thought for most people, I
Oh,
would say. I don't know about any let me rephrase that. I can't speak for everybody, but for myself, that's like a reoccurring thought. Like, feels like
oh,
almost every
yeah.
time I come to the gym. Like, what
Yeah,
is this rep scheme?
yeah, I would say I probably think it about every time we, go to the whiteboard or go to the screen
Oh,
and
yeah.
talk about this going on, I'm like, okay, let's do it. Let's get it over with. Let's go. The faster we start, the faster we
For
finish.
for
We're
sure.
good.
Most def that's my big thought for me too. It's like there's no better than the present to start, right? Let's get through it.
Oh,
We'll figure it out in the moment. I don't know how we're gonna feel in the like beginning or middle of it, but let's afterwards I'll deal with it in the middle of it.
oh goodness. Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Cool. And you also talked about competing a little bit earlier. What's kind of what's interesting too, excuse me. Like well, I was gonna ask, like, what is your process of training for a competition? Like, is it different at all from like training for f not training for fun, but training regularly, or is it different at all? Is it you t try different
So
strategies?
yeah, so when I first started competing, I did a lot of competitions individually. I didn't compete with teams just because I didn't know anybody, starting out that would like to compete with me. So individually, I honestly didn't train, specifically for events. I just trusted in my training that we were doing at the gym, and it was working for me. So at the time, I was like, I don't really need to do anything. And I still didn't really know people at this time because I started competing like maybe 6 to 8 months into just starting CrossFit because I was like, this is
Uh,
really cool. I'm going to try it out. And Brady was like, you need to sign up for this Hereford competition. I'm putting you on a team. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll do that. I was kind of scared, but I did it anyways. But I just kind of trusted in the training. There wasn't really a whole lot, outside that I needed to do. Um, but also, I have like this superstition, like some competitions will post the workouts that you're going to be doing beforehand.
mhm.
I do not want to do those workouts before I get to that competition, and it's because I know, like, I will know how bad it's going to hurt.
Oh, yeah.
Um, and the one thing that I love about CrossFit is you never know what you're doing the next day, and you're probably never going to do
Yeah.
it again, or at least for another year.
Yeah.
So I do not like practicing the workout beforehand. Jared and Travis, and even Saudi, like we've done a few competitions together now. And they'll like want to run through it and stuff. I'm like, that's fine. Let's just do like half the run, half the round. Like, I don't really want to do the whole workout. Because then once it'll get to my head, and then we'll show up to the competition, and I know how bad it's gonna hurt, and I'm just like not in the right headspace, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
training for a competition, I really just try to trust in my training. And if there's anything that I know that's gonna be in the competition that I really need to work on, I get with, Jaren or Travis or Scotty, and, kind of talk to them like, okay, this is what I really need to work on, whether it's, a overhead squat or handstand walking. This is what I'm going to focus on, and I'll try to prepare myself to get better at those things, but not kind of overdo it, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, it's just not like, finding that even balance, right, of, like, not, like,
Yeah.
doing too much, but, like, not, like, doing enough kinda situation
Yeah,
going on.
for
But, yeah,
sure.
it's one of those things too, like, I obviously don't compete, but I would, like, if I was competitor, I don't know, I would be one of those people, I don't know, like, I don't know if I would be the person, like, to know, like, I would want to know or not, like, that nerve-wracking, like, "Okay, what's the workout gonna be? What's the work" I could see myself being nervous, like, "What's it gonna be?" But also, like, in the same situation you would be in, like, I don't wanna if I know ahead, like, time, I don't wanna do it because 'cause I'm like, I know this how the stimulus is gonna feel, like, I'd be one of the I'd be, like, in the middle, it's like, I don't know, I'm like, I don't know, just thinking about it now, it was like, I don't know how I would feel going into it, just being over
Mhm.
prepared or under prepared at all, you know?
Yeah, there's a gym in Lubbock, Wild West CrossFit, and they do a lot of
Yeah.
competitions. But what I really like about their competitions is they kind of keep it private, like the workouts kind of secret, until it gets closer to the event. Or even they share like just as like everybody shows up and they do the athlete briefing, and that's how you find out what you're about to
Yeah.
do. I think those are the best because it kind of keeps all your athletes on their toes. Like, you don't really know what you need to work on or train on. So it kind of just puts everybody together on the same spot, and then, you go at it. But
Yeah.
that's the kind of competitions that I really enjoy. But again, for that reason, like I don't really want to know what I'm going to be doing. I just want to show up, get it done, give it my all, and hopefully do good.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's a great thing too. It's like keeping it. I can understand that too. Like a gym or a box, keeping it private until like maybe the day of or day before. Like have a briefing, like you said. Like okay, we kept it quiet, but here we go. Here's the workouts and like what's ready, set, go situation.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I could see that too. I mean, that's a pretty cool way of going about it too. Like you said, keep it on your toes and make sure you're prepared for the whatever's thrown at you, kind of thing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite I can't speak. Do you have a favorite, competition story at all or memory at all?
Um, Actually, yes, I do, and this just happened not too long ago. I was with uh, Jaron, Travis, Saudi, and myself competing in the Veterans Day Bash in Lubbock.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
And we did so good as a team. Like we have improved so much over the last couple times that we've done competitions together. We fought really hard and we made it to the final event. And we actually
Wow.
ended up coming up in first in that final event. And I
Wow.
was just so blown away. We were all so pumped about it because that weekend was so rough. I was actually sick that weekend. And so I was just not doing my best. I was just pushing through, and we ended up winning that event. And I just remember falling off the bar, and we all just like group hugged. We were so excited. Saudi was so pumped. So that was probably my favorite, like, team competition memory. But individually, I'll say this. This is actually really funny. So I signed up for an individual competition. This was also down in Lubbock. Lubbock has tons of competitions. If you ever want to
Oh,
go
yeah,
check
I
them
bet.
out, Lubbock always has them.
Yeah.
So I secretly signed up for it was called Monkey Wrench. And this
Oh,
was
yeah.
also at Wild West CrossFit. And I didn't really want anybody to know. I kind of just did this, as to see where I was at. And again, I think I'd probably been in CrossFit maybe March, April, May, June, July, 5 months. Yeah, 5 months of training. And I showed up. I didn't really know what to expect. Like, I was on my own. My mom actually came down. She drove down on Saturday
So
morning just
cool.
to me on. And um, so, anyways, I ended up winning third place
Oh,
in my
wow.
division, and I was so shocked. But that was probably one of my favorite memories because I didn't really know what to expect. I gave it my all, and I ended up doing really well, a lot better than I thought I was going to do. And I still didn't tell anybody about it. And then finally, I posted about it, and I was like, I'm so pumped! This is so awesome! I'll keep doing this, I guess. Like,
That's so cool.
yeah.
That's so cool that, like, you kept it a secret until, up until, "Okay, I gotta say something about it." That's such a cool memory.
Yeah, I was so nervous. I was like, I'll just see how I'm at, like where I'm at as an athlete and kind of how I'm doing compared to other people. And I'll tell you, those Love It CrossFit girls, oh my gosh, they're like a whole other level of
Oh,
CrossFit. Like
wow.
it's like a awakening thing. Like we'll go down and it's insane. They train hard and they're really good.
Dang, must be kinda crazy. It was just crazy, I bet, were you, was it any nerves at all going into that at all? Like, as an individual or even team now? Like, was it, any nerves at all? Any good nerves, I guess I should say?
Yeah, I was really nervous because I didn't really know what to expect.
Yeah.
This was one of my first events that I was going to, and especially out of town. I didn't really know what to expect. So I was pretty nervous, but I mean, after each event, like I was doing well, so I was like, "Oh, this really isn't that bad. Like, just another workout. Like,
Oh,
it
yeah.
will be fine. We made it through." And so by the end of it, I was like, "That really sucked, but I had so much fun." Like, because
Yeah.
you're working probably from 7:30 in the morning to like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And
Jeez.
so it's I mean, it's really tough, but I really enjoyed it. I would say now though, I don't really get nervous until like we're about to go. Like they're like,
Yeah.
okay, heat fives out, get in your lane, and then I'm like, oh, okay, like let's
Yeah.
go.
Let's go.
but,
Here we
but those
go.
are good nerves. I feel like everybody kind of gets that way.
Mm. Yeah, I think I'm like that now, with some workouts, I get, not I guess nervous, I guess butterfly kinda feeling, it's like with some
Yeah.
workouts, even though I'm not competing, it's like there's some workouts I'm like, good amount of workouts, I feel like, "Okay, I'm about to get exposed, but I don't care, here we go." That's all systems go, we're about to go in, and, but it's like it's that moment where it's like, okay, when someone goes, "Okay, we got 10 seconds before the moment, before the workout starts," right? And then you're like, "Okay." And then I'm fine, and then they say that, 10 seconds, whatever, and I'm like, "Oh, no." I'm like that's when I start getting nervous, my hands start getting a little sweaty, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I need to get chalk right now." I and I start
Yeah.
getting nervous, and then like 3, 2, 1, and then right when I start, I'm like, I don't know why it just goes away. I don't know, I can't explain it, but it feels like those 10 seconds going into the workout are the most nervous for me. Like, I'm the most nervous, but in the middle of a workout, I'm like, "It's fine." I don't know why. But I was like that in wrestling too, for a wrestling match, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, there's so many people here. I'm gonna get beat." And then after the match, if I won or whatever, I'm like, "Oh, wasn't that bad."
Yeah. Yeah, I think, like, once you get started and going, I mean, again, you just trust in your training and you keep going,
Yeah,
uh,
for sure.
and it kinda just leaves, and that's kinda how it is at, competitions too. Like, we get out there and then we're a little nervous and we kinda talk strategy, like, "How are we gonna do this?" And it makes you a little bit more nervous, but then once you get out there and you get going, I mean, it all kinda goes away and your competitive side
Yeah.
kicks in. You're gonna put in the work and work hard and do what you can to finish.
Yeah, for sure. That's a great thing too, is, working hard, like I said, it really does pay off though, obviously, it's just, after a while, all that training just have faith in your training at the end of the day,
Yeah, for
for sure.
sure.
Hey, sorry, go were you gonna say something? I'm so sorry, did I cut you off?
No, you're good, you're good.
I'm sorry. But a couple more questions before you head out, but thank you for your time again, I can't thank you for enough for coming on, but,
Yeah.
I just wanna ask a couple more questions, couple more things I guess to bring up. When you're training, is there when you're not training for competition, what's that like? Is there anything that's different at all?
I would say no. Like right now, I'm training for TFX in Austin, so the Texas
Oh
Fitness
yeah,
Experience. I'm going up there to compete individually in January. It's in Austin, Texas. So right now, I'm just kind of again trusting in the training. With Mayhem Mission is the program that we use,
yeah.
or Mayhem programming at the gym. So I'm trusting in that. And I Jaren, Travis, and Eric, they're actually a team. They're going to be going down there as well
Oh
and
wow.
competing. So I'm sure getting closer to time will kind of, all meet up and kind of work on some things individually of, our weaknesses or stuff like that. But when I'm not training for a competition, I'm always still training.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned earlier, consistency and discipline. Those are both two very important things to me. And so I'm always gonna be at the gym. I'm always gonna give it my all. If somebody texts me like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to the gym early. I'm gonna work on some things. I'm gonna stretch out, do some mobility." I'm down. Like I'll always go and be that person and kind of work on some extra things. But training really isn't that different for me on or off working on competition stuff. It just kind of depends. Like I said, I'm not going to do the workout that's listed. I want to know. So it's not really that much of a difference.
Oh, really? So that's not really a huge difference, like, you're just pretty much preparing yourself regardless.
Oh yeah. Yeah, functional fitness is pretty important. So whatever, I mean, I say that a lot. Actually, it's pretty annoying to my friends. I've been telling my dad this for the last 2 years, like functional fitness, and so we
Yeah.
joke about it all the time. Uh, but yeah, functional fitness is important.
It most definitely is, before, like, in the past, when I first started working out, I was just, like, I was so up, like, drinking pre-workout, and I'm like, "Hopefully, this will get me through," but now I'm, like, few years in, I pretty much quit drinking pre-workout, and I'm like, "Okay, maybe I need to stretch out more, do this, do that," like, because in the end, it's really what like you said, roll out, maybe just get a foam roller or get a band and do this, do
Yeah.
that, it's like, one of those things, like, maybe if that's even means showing up 20
Oh, yeah.
minutes early or 15 minutes or 30 minutes or like doing something like let's do something like to warm up like a body part. Like, if it's something sort of warm it up or not even if it's a word, just do something.
Yeah, kinda just get your body prepared for what it's about to do.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're taking care of your body is just as important as, showing up for the workout. So like you
most
said,
definitely.
showing up early and warming up a little bit more, if you have a really tight hip flexor, which is what I struggle with usually,
Mhm.
I'll show up early, just roll it out, kind of do some stretches, get it ready for whatever we're about to do. And but yeah, taking care of your body is so important. But I actually on that topic. Outside of CrossFit, like I go to his name is Santana Gonzalez, and he
Oh yeah.
is a massage therapist, and he has helped my body so much for preparing for competitions, just in general, being at the gym. Because we in CrossFit, you work out so hard, you work out a
Yeah.
lot of things, and sometimes things start to hurt, and so taking care of your body outside of the gym is just as important.
That's a great big thing too. It's like I can't get that enough. Like I can't like preach that enough. And I thank you for sharing that too, because that's a big, big thing too. It's like it's one thing to show up and do the workout, but it's like actually like when you're not outside the gym or doing this or that, it's like really listening to your body. Like, okay, what's going on here? Like, because ultimately that's what's going to be like getting you through the workout, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so like I said, it's just as important as showing up to the gym, taking care of your body because you can seriously get hurt really
Yeah,
bad. Especially if you're not really paying attention, don't really know what you're doing. CrossFit could be dangerous, but
it can be.
um, like I said, taking care of your body outside of the gym is just as important. So drink your water, see your massage
Yeah,
therapist, and good.
yeah, do what you need to do, right?
Yeah.
For sure. Well, Tavi, can't thank you enough for coming on the podcast. Thank you for your time and making time out. I had a blast. I mean, I can't thank you enough.
Yeah, of course. I was really excited to that you asked me, and I was like, "Oh, it's my turn now."
For
But,
sure.
I love watching your podcast and listening to all of our other athletes talk about CrossFit because, like I said, we're all pretty close community, and it's really weird how we all kind of tie into the
Yeah.
little things.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed watching them, and I'm
Oh,
excited I got
thanks.
to do it.
Well, thank you. Yeah. Thanks for listening to him and thanks for coming on. I had a blast.
Yeah,
Like you said, just to be able to conversate with like people, like talk about stuff that we all love, right? We all may have different backgrounds, but like just coming together, just working out, something that I love, obviously why not talk about it? So
yeah, of course. Well, I really appreciate it, Carter.
well, I appreciate for you coming on and making time out, like I said. thank you again, and thank you to everybody listening to this podcast, watching it, and making time out to watch it. And hope you have a great rest of y'all's weekend. Happy holidays, happy New Year, depending on when you watch this. Yeah, thank y'all. See y'all.
All right, thanks, Carter.
Yeah.